I went to I went to my very first hockey game last night, and it was amazing. I wish people had told me about hockey. Like, why did no one ever tell me how amazing it is to be at a hockey game? Like, freaking incredible. One of my friends took me, and he's like a total sports fanatic. And I've been saying for a while, I just want to go to some kind of game. The only thing I've ever been to is like UFC, and I think that's pretty incredible. But interestingly enough, the men that I know think that it's too barbaric. Like they won't go and see any kind of UFC event, which I don't understand. It's two grown men and they are willingly getting into this cage to fight. Like who cares? Hockey's bloody. And what I think is really interesting about UFC is that you have two people from different disciplines. Like one is a boxer or a wrestler, one's a grappler, and the grappler might be like, a fourth of the size of the other guy. But once they're down on the ground, all bets are off because what are you going to do with those gloves? This guy's going to kidney punch you, whatever they call it, till he beats you. So, anyway, it was great. Hockey's great. I hope I go back. My it was the Ducks, Anaheim Ducks, and the Chicago, what do they call, Blackhawks? And so my friend's from Chicago, and we're in California, so we go to Anaheim. We pull up to the parking lot. He gets out. He's like, "Hold on, I have to change." And I'm like, "What are you doing over there?" And I see him. He's putting on this green, bright green Chicago jersey in Anaheim. And I said, "Hey, buddy, I really hope these local fans don't kill you. I don't know what the sentiment is here, but I know in some cities, like on the East Coast, you can't get away with that. You don't just put on some jersey and go to some other city. People don't people don't like it." So these fans were actually really cool. They didn't get upset. Every time he jumped up, whenever Chicago scored, he'd be screaming, and they just smiled. I was like, these are nice people. And there was a guy in front of us, local, screaming the entire time, like totally took things seriously. He was yelling. He was acting like he knew the players and the refs. He's like, "Jerry, that's unacceptable. I can't believe you," like screaming. He was like both the best thing and the worst thing that happened in this game. Like he was pretty entertaining. Aside from that, I think I could do without the dancing duck. Like that made me very uncomfortable. I said, if he comes over here, let me know because I'm going to hide or I'm leaving. And they said, well, he's the mascot. I'm like, I don't care who the hell he is. It's weird that a grown man is in a duck suit and he's flapping around. I shudder to think what the other cities' mascots are. Like, what, a hot dog? Like, what could you possibly be? I don't even want to know. Anyway, even though Chicago lost because the Ducks were like testosterone giants on speed, those guys are crazy. I was watching them play. I was watching actually Chicago. I was super impressed with their moves. Like I noticed it was it was like they were dancing. It was like really strategic. And when they moved and then when they passed the puck, they were completely in sync. And it was like it was just really fluid and didn't win them the game, but it was pretty cool to watch. And just something I don't know if that's things like the announcers talk about that, but for someone like me who's new to hockey, it was pretty amazing. And I can't wait to go back to another game. And um, it's like there's a synergy whether you're in a game like that, like a hockey game, or if you're going to see a band, or if you're in a like I don't know a play or whatever, or any kind of like group where there's like an exchange of energy, dialogue, passing the ball, whatever the hell it is. You can tell when a group or a team like when they're in sync with each other. And I thought that the Blackhawks had like I know it sounds weird maybe, but they have like this rhythm and there's a flow. It was very strategic and it was just really impressive to me. So I came away with that, even though they lost. I was like, they're pretty amazing. Um, Maybe they could step up their game as far as winning, but that's another thing. So it affects the team. They affect each other, and when they're in sync, and it also affects the crowd. Like you can see, the crowd was like crazy. So people that watching it, and me being a newcomer, like I totally was blown away by that, and that affected me. I was thinking about on the way home, like about groups and how there's, even the community here, like the XRP community, like I'm a newcomer here too. And occasionally I can be affected by input, by the information that I see or that I am reading about, about Ripple or about XRP and what I'm watching. And this, the XRP community has a pretty strong voice collectively. I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm sure that I think anyway that many people that are holding this asset or thinking about buying it are affected by what they see in the community also. Some of lately I'm seeing a lot of just like bickering and fighting that I'm seeing within the community, like let's say on Twitter or whatever, just comments that I see. It's pretty palpable, and it could affect you in the short term. Maybe it would make you, I don't know if it would make you sell, but it might make you buy more if you're more excitable about it, or it could make you confused. It's so early on in this. Like right now, the price is 32 cents. And so the thing is that, who's not affected is XRP. Like XRP is not affected, does not care if we have any kind of dissension in this arena, in this community. Doesn't care if we are, technical analysts, doesn't care how many tweets we're putting out, like even if they're good and they make sense and or they're funny, doesn't care if people are agreeing with you or not, doesn't care what kind of portfolio you have, or what coins you're holding, doesn't even care. Like diehard Bitcoin lifers doesn't care about that, doesn't care if you're making freaking weird comments on my YouTube channel about how it's all gonna crash. Does not care. You know what XRP cares about? It cares about the strong team behind it that are actually like working tirelessly to expand, to move into other countries and within other financial entities. And it cares essentially about its utility and how banks are going to save a ton of money utilizing the technology that is using XRP. Um, it cares about ramping up over the coming year and just, where the price has to increase to match the need. And it cares about, um, like increasing the partnerships and the value of its speed and how amazing that is, and like overtaking any of the slow bots who are still using the old technology and that might be standing in the way. Um, cares about uses that we don't even know about yet, right? Like we know about what's been released, and I think a lot of us are more focused on this micro level instead of looking at the macro level and the bigger picture, because there is a bigger picture that sometimes I think we forget about. All of that other stuff is ego-based. It's just opinions, Some are very good opinions and very intelligent perspectives, but I don't know. I think that XRP is just going to keep doing what it's doing. That's what the price is going to reflect, regardless of what we think. And that is the good news to me. So anyway, have a good day.